Did you get my email? I haven't been back since lunchtime and I sent you an email.
Yeah, and I emailed you back. Don't worry about it.
I haven't seen it.
So the very general questions about clearing and your courses and the subject area, why, you know, you want to come to the University of Bolton, sort of opportunities you have around business development, things like that, so they're really focused on their careers when they finish. So that's kind of the academic message. And then for the support services and professionals, it's more to do with the services that we have here and helping them through the clearing process. We have Nick standing by to take questions from social media, which he'll then pass to me. Yeah. I will then ask whoever it's appropriate for, if it's subject related, or the panel generally.
You're used to sitting in one. I know. I'm not. I'm right in the middle.
Yes, there is.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, I put in them. Oh, right,
Yeah, sorry.
I didn't realise they were inspected.
I'm starting to get quite nervous now. Are you? Are you okay?
Okay.
You're alright.
Question number one. Are you ready? Are you ready, Fiona? Question number one. What do you do for disabled students?
Just so I can remember all of them. I've written them down. Right. Dina's.
Right, everybody, the world can hear you now. You can see it.
Oh, do it.
Good afternoon and welcome to the University of Bolton's live Q&A for Clearing 2015. First up, we have some subject group leaders and heads of department So we're here to talk to you about the courses that you want to join. Student Services team will be on second to give a little bit more detail about the university and the services that they provide, help you through some of those clearing issues there. If you have any questions, can you message us through the comments here on YouTube or send us a tweet or a Facebook message and we'll pick those up and post them to the panel. Now I'm just going to introduce everybody here and then I'm going to sit back so you can see everyone and I'll ask some questions that we've got prepared for you. So firstly we have Simon Wiggins.
Hello.
And then we have Joanne.
Hello.
Then we have Professor Hardy. We have Jackie from Psychology. We have
Hi.
Sam from the School of the Arts.
Hi there.
Carl from the Business School.
Hi.
And Andy Smith from Engineering. So, to get us moving, if we can talk a little bit about the courses that are offered by your department that are available in clearing. So, Simon, do you have any places available?
Yeah, within creative technologies we've got 4 subject areas, computing, games, special and visual effects and media. The games and special and visual effects areas are very popular and don't have that many places left, so hurry up if you want to come. But the computing and media areas have still got places available. They range from media production, media writing, through to the computing courses that involve networks and security, pure computing and some website development.
So, what are the facilities like for your courses?
Facilities range from the kind of classic computing labs through to large-scale studio facilities for special and visual effects. We also have normal standard classroom facilities, media labs and studio space for filming.
And Joanne, you're here representing the Health and Community Studies team.
Yeah.
So, how's clearing for you? Are you very busy?
We are quite busy and our courses remain quite popular within the sector because there's lots of work within the area really, so employability is good within the area. We have got places available in health and social care, in particular HND, health and social care, which might be a good offer for people who are maybe not decided yet on their actual career that they would like to go into. Covers quite a range in terms of health and social care aspects, and people undertake that they want to go into potentially into nursing or one of the allied health professionals, and also into social work. We also have availability within community and neighbourhood studies, which proves popular in terms of of people kind of looking to work within the local communities, and there's quite a range of opportunities within that, and there's a good placement opportunity within community studies. And also youth and community, so if anybody's interested in working with young people, and that has an excellent reputation and is endorsed within the National Youth Organisation. Also for this time there's the early years which is now offered at degree level, so that would be available to people as well.
So it sounds like a lot of your courses are very career driven and
Yeah.
very people looking who know exactly what they want to do.
Not exactly, because I think there's quite a lot of flexibility within them, so people might know the sector they want to go into, but they are kind of, they've not made a decision, so they know that they want to work, say, in health and social care, but not necessarily very specific around the profession, so they may be looking at working with people, but are yet to decide. And so we're quite flexible in terms of the offer, really, and we do get good employability from them programmes.
That sort of flexibility of study, is that something that you offer as well, Simon?
Yeah, I think it's important that we understand the needs of the students that we're bringing on, and the way that we can offer part-time options, associate student options, so people can be studying in different modes from the standard. So if people are coming in from industry to top up the skills, we can offer the flexibility there. They're either taught alongside existing students on standard undergraduate courses, or it would be something that we do as an extension of the programmes.
So you must have some pretty interesting guest lecturers come to the university.
Yeah, very much so. I think we're fortunate to have strong links with our industry, and as a result the practitioners do come to speak to us a lot. Our local feed, if you like, is from a lot of the games companies such as Traveller's Tales, who are one of the largest in Europe, who work a lot on EA games, so some of the biggest games that you'll see on the TV and some that you'll play every day. But also the London film industry is something that, even though we're not local to that, we do lure them up quite regularly to give guest spots to the students. And the result of that is the graduate recruit into that industry is quite strong.
Right, so we've got some graduates working in some pretty exciting places now.
Yeah, I mean the latest exciting one is Star Wars.
Wow.
The special effects students are being able to be on set as we speak, if you like, but also looking on large budget films such as Guardians of the Galaxy, but also Doctor Who, a lot of TV as well. It's a massive industry at the moment. Games and film are two of the biggest creative industries, so we're kind of in a great position to exploit that and get graduates out there.
Right, and we have a few places left, so people need to really
Yeah,
get on those phones.
Yeah.
Professor Hardy, you're here representing the law school. How's clearing going for you today?
Well, law as ever is very popular, so we're fighting people at the doors, but we've still got lots of places left in our foundation course, because
Right.
some people choose to do a 4-year course rather than the 3-year course.
Okay. And in terms of our alumni and where they're working now, what's that like?
Well, over the last 5 years, employability has been the focus of our courses, because we recognise that not everybody wants to be a lawyer, but obviously 60% of our cohort go on to do further legal professional training. The other 40% divide into between 20 to 25% do law-related work. The others go off to run their own businesses or consultancy work.
So we must have some very interesting people out there who've been at the University of Bolton.
Yes, and we're very lucky that they want to come back and talk to us. So they engage as we do with the local legal profession and the local judiciary, and they're largely part of it in some number, or they're related to the university through our business challenge or our intern scheme. So yes, we see a lot of them. They never leave us.
And of course you have a law professional background yourself.
I do. Sadly, yes.
And we have a number of judges that are connected with the university as well, don't we? So we have some pretty impressive guests.
Yeah, we're very lucky. We have an impressive Chancellor who is the 3rd highest judge in the land, so you can't ask for better than that. But we do have the local judiciary who are very keen and very, very active and involved in what we do. So they come to our courtroom, our dedicated courtroom, our dedicated law library for either debates, mooting, or even discussions on particular legal issues of the time.
So students get to meet them on a regular basis.
They certainly do, yeah, and that's good for them because it builds up the student confidence to do that.
Jackie, you're here from psychology
I am.
today. You've been on the clearing helplines today.
Briefly, yes. It's getting very busy up there at
Is
the
it?
moment. So, yes, as ever, psychology's an extremely popular subject, so we do get large numbers of inquiries.
It has a broad range of career applications, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You know, from such areas as management, personnel management, going on to be a psychologist or a researcher, if that's what you want to do. We prepare you well for that across all our 3 programmes.
And in terms of the students, do you have a lot of very young students? Was it very mixed? Or?
It's very mixed. We have quite a large proportion of mature students, as well as the kind of typically aged students, right across the board really, because we can cater for the all-round student really, whether they be mature or of the younger age.
And in terms of guest lecturers, do you have quite a broad range?
We do. We're focusing very much on employability, and we've had guest lecturers come in from clinical psychology from the NHS, and we've also arranged a number of field trips as well out to, for example, prison visits for our students that are on the criminological and forensic programme to look at how prisons operate from a psychologist's point of view and actually experience the work environment within that sector.
very different from Professor Hardy's side then. That's
Slightly.
two sides of the coin.
Very much two sides of the
Well,
coin.
one sends
yeah.
to prison, one represents. One rehabilitates, one doesn't.
Definitely rehabilitates.
So what are the class sizes like in psychology? Because it's a hugely popular course.
It is a hugely popular course. For some of the core modules, because we're accredited by the BPS, all students across all programmes have to take certain modules that the BPS require us to. So those lectures generally tend to be quite large groups in a kind of structured lectured environment, and then we break out into smaller groups of maybe 15 and 20 for like seminar work, personal tutoring. So it's a mixture of large groups, small groups, with the focus being mainly on the smaller groups, because that's, we know, is the more effective way of learning and interacting with each other and the tutor.
We've had, obviously I'm involved in graduation, so I've met a great number of psychology graduates this year.
Mm-hmm.
We've had an amazing number of firsts, haven't we, and some really outstanding students.
Absolutely, yeah. It's I think it's been an all-time record for us. I think we had roughly about 16 first-class passes, which is excellent. You know, we put our successes down to our small group numbers, the way that we get to know our students individually. And I think I can speak for all my colleagues when we talk about a student being a name and not a number. We get to know our students so well and realise what their needs are and work with them to get the best out of them. And these are the results we get.
So to get that kind of outstanding result, I know that the marking system in a university is so completely different from how you would study at college or at school. So does everything that you do in your first year really affect how you go on to your third year?
In the short answer is no. The first year we tend to work on smoothing out the rough edges, because we have students coming in from all different kinds of environments. So the first year is very much getting to know the student, getting to know the university life, to kind of work, know how to write essays and produce work of undergraduate standard. So once the first year is done, then the second and third year marks all go towards the final degree award. So the first year, although it's incredibly important, the marks that are awarded to the final degree are taken from the second and third year.
Right. So that first year, people don't need to panic. That's the year where they can really embed their skills.
Absolutely. And in addition to that, we also have 2 foundation programmes as well in the education and psychology programmes, where it actually extends to a 4-year degree. So students who perhaps haven't got the grades to go in at year 1 can come to us, study a foundation year prior to year 1.
Right.
So it's kind of preparation for preparation. So 2 kind of chances to smooth out those rough edges in preparation for the kind of second and third year, when the marks really matter going towards the final degree award. So
That's great. Thank you very much, Jackie.
thank you.
And next we have Sam, who heads up the School of the Arts.
Yes.
So would you like to tell us a little bit about the school, Sam,
Yes.
and the subjects where you have clearing places this
Yes,
year?
it would be a pleasure. Thanks, Dina. I think we all know it's a very dynamic school, the School of the Arts, very vibrant, colourful, and we'd like to think we contribute to the wider university and, in fact, the local area. As much as to the benefit of individual students. We've got a whole range of courses still in clearing, and we have the full spectrum of art and design courses that you would expect: animation and illustration, graphic design, textile surface design, then moving over to the fine arts area, photography, interiors, and so on. So we have a full spectrum of art and design courses available. We also have courses relating to creative writing and English within the School of the Arts, and we also have a strong and quite exciting new development in terms of our new theatre degree, which we also run alongside our performing arts course. So the School of the Arts embraces a whole range of different types of practice-based activities, and there are spaces available yet still in all of those areas.
That's amazing. So So in terms of the graduates that we have, I know the creative show this year was astonishingly beautiful, but the places where they go on to work, can you give us some ideas about those?
Yes, I mean, I think what staff do throughout the 3 or 4 years that students are studying here is ensure that students are very well prepared in terms of having access to guest speakers, trips into industry, to present their work at exhibition fairs, both nationally and internationally. So by the time they actually graduate, the students are very well positioned to be able to sell and pitch themselves out there in what's a very competitive world. As a freelancer, many of our students will go on to freelance work while they build a portfolio, and they may end up in a major house, but in the meantime they have to make up their portfolio for usually between 2 to 3 years. So let's say, for example, for textiles and surface design, final year students this year have been to Indigo Paris, so they've presented their work internationally. They also, all students go down to New Designers and present their work in London in the summer with other graduating students, and many of our students get individual commissions, offers of placements, and also sometimes full-time work down there in London. So I think part of the training in all of our arts and practice-based areas involves having students build their confidence, their sense of self-esteem, their social skills in many ways, because they know that, yes, they can be hugely talented artistically, but unless they can schmooze, for want of a better way to describe it, sell themselves, network, move around a room, their artistic talent will remain hidden. So those are other skills that are built up throughout the time that you're actually studying here at the university.
It's a hugely competitive area, isn't it?
It is. And I think we see that amongst the students themselves when they're here. It's always a joy to see the students when they first arrive, and they aren't really that competitive. They're aware of what's in their portfolio, they're aware of their skills, but by the time they're in the 3rd year, yes, they're working as a collective team, but also there's a wonderful competitive edge once we get to the final show or the final showcases in creative writing and performing arts, whereby students really want to showcase their talent. They know they have to be able to do that, and many of them do so very, very successfully.
And we have a new course, don't we, within your School of the Arts this year?
Yes,
around theatre.
Yes, this year we're launching a new BA theatre in association with the Octagon Theatre in Bolton, and we'll also be working with other regional theatres who will be offering us placements and so on. This is a really innovative development. The course was co-designed between academics here at the university and professionals in practice at the Octagon, and it's been a very exciting development process. We've involved current performing arts students in that as well, and we're looking forward to rolling that out this year. That will involve, if you like, a very rich mix of activities, obviously analytical academic activities, lots of practical activities here at the university at our new campus, Queen's Campus, where we'll have bespoke facilities available, but also a lot of activity going on at the Octagon Theatre itself, where the students are given very much a behind-the-scenes insight into what goes on in that industry space. Students, particularly our performing arts students today, have been given, I think, what is really a unique opportunity to watch professional actors in rehearsal with professional directors. They get to be part of and observe those kind of practice-based activities with professionals all of the time. So it's really a great offering.
And next we have Carl from
Hi.
the Business School. Carl, just a few words about courses that are available in the Business School through Clearing and how it's been going.
Okay, we tend to have 2 courses within the Business School. We have Business and Management at both foundation level and undergraduate entry level, and we also have an accountancy programme at both level 0 entry and undergraduate HE4 level.
And how's Clearing been going? Is it busy?
It's always busy within both those areas. We've got a couple of places left within the accountancy undergraduate side. That's always really busy. Business is certainly places available across both level 0 and HE4.
So what's life like for a student in the Business School?
Very busy. They will often get visits from speakers from practice, Coopers, KPMG, etc., as well as high-level people from business, places like Shell.
Right, so these are leading companies.
Yes.
And what are the class sizes like in the Business School?
They are certainly smaller than our competitors within the Northwest. Certainly within accounting, no more than 30. Business, slightly higher, but never more than 40.
And has there been any news from the business school that would be interesting for a student in clearing at the moment?
We've just had notification from the professional body, the ACCA, that they've awarded the accountancy department gold level partner status. There's only 2 publicly funded universities in the Northwest who've got that. That is a reassurance to graduates that if they progress through a degree and become qualified, they're going to get a job.
Right, so it's a real door opener for students in
Yes,
their careers.
it's been really competitive to try and get that over the last 18 months or so. So our undergraduates on the accountancy programme get maximum exemptions from the professional body. There's then a clear path through to becoming qualified after graduation within 18 months.
That's great news for the department.
Yes, it is.
In terms of the students who are with you, do you have like a typical student? Do you have any students working as well as
It's a cross range really. We have quite a lot of full-time undergraduates on the business programme who come to us full-time. Age ranges from 18 right through to 40, 50, so that's a broad spectrum. On the accountancy side, they tend to be a little bit younger, usually come straight from A-levels, but not always, with the aspirations of obviously getting the accountancy qualifications and then going straight into work.
So in terms of an environment for learning and getting used to being with people from like a broad background, it's an ideal environment.
Yeah, there's a good mix across both programmes.
Excellent. And last but not least, we have Andy representing engineering and sports sciences. Made a brand new word there.
Brilliant.
Hi, Andy.
Lots of new courses as well.
We could start coursing that. So, Andy, can you tell me a little bit about places that are available in clearing and engineering?
Yeah, well, I'll give you a little information about the school in the
Brilliant,
first
that'd be
instance. So
great.
it's applied vocational schools, the way I like to see it, so we're very close to industry and other subject areas that we offer. 2 main areas we offer within the school, that's engineering, which includes mechanical, electrical and automotive, via our Cape Centre, and then the built environment area, which offers a range from architecture, building, construction management and quantity surveying, along with civil engineering. All of those pathways I've described there have all got professional body accreditation. So we're very keen and sort of to align ourselves with what industry wants. So the vocational nature of what we do and what we deliver enables our students to hit the ground running once they start applying for jobs in the future. Clearing wise, we've been very busy. And we have a few places left, limited places on our foundation year, which runs across all those courses I described. So we're nearly full on that particular pathway. We still have places on the others.
So, in terms, you talked about your close relationship with industry. In terms of industry coming into the university or students going out and working in industry, what's that like?
Yeah, we have lots of opportunities for our students. We have what I call very active industry advisory boards, each for those clusters, that enables us to set up work placements for students, dissertation projects that students do in conjunction with organisations. And we do offer lots of sort of field trips out to actually see elements being built, made, so students have that interaction with the organisation from a very early stage within their sort of career, the university programmes.
So plenty of time to build those connections for when they graduate.
Absolutely, yeah.
And in terms of your student graduates, what sort of places which sort of places are they working now?
Right across the northwest, the northwest area itself is a sort of manufacturing hotbed for these courses, both for sort of the mechanical and electrical engineering type courses and also the civils. So our students have graduated and moved and worked at Bentley Designs, so Bentley Cars,
Okay.
British Aerospace, Carillion, to name but a few of the quite sort of large blue chip companies that our students have gone on to work for.
So in terms, I mean, for all of you, it does sound like your students, they are now preparing themselves to go out there into the career place, and you all have some great graduates out there who come back and help our current students in terms of what they're learning. Lots of nodding there. Right, we've reached about half point in our live broadcast, so we're going to have a bit of a swap around so we can have a talk to the people who will help you with some of the nuts and bolts of sorting out clearing. So if our academic panel could with us this afternoon, we have Fiona from Finance, who's going to answer any questions about student finance that you might have. And then we have the lovely Emily from Accommodation, who is going to sort out all those questions you might have about halls, and she knows lots about Bolton, so she can tell you what it's like to be a student in Bolton. And we have Molly, who heads up everything to do with sports and activities that we have housed over in Bolton 1, so she's going to give you a bit more detail about that. And then we have Fiona from Disability Services, who's going to tell you about the work that they do there to support students. So again, I'm going to get out of the way and we'll just run through some details, because you guys have so much experience of working with new students coming through to clearing. So Fiona, you know a lot of things that the first questions that people said Fiona, and I mean Karen. Sorry, Karen. Karen, you know so much about what students ask when they come through on the clearing lines. What are the big issues for students?
With regard to funding?
Yeah.
Well, at this particular time, one of the questions we get asked a lot is if a student has already applied to another university and applied for the funding and got the funding in principle, but then changed their mind and want to come here, how do they change their funding so that they come to this university and receive their funding?
Does that happen quite a lot?
Yeah, we
why-
get asked
why
that
does
question
that
quite a
happen?
lot. Well, for whatever reason, they've decided that they would rather come here, but they're worried that how they're going to get their funding for this university when their offer is for another university. The funding's got the other university's details on. So basically, they can just go online to the www.gov.uk website where they applied for their funding, and do a change in circumstances to this university, so it will all be transferred over to here then, so they'll get the funding here when they come to study here.
So it's not complicated at all?
No, it's quite easy, but it's just that a lot of students don't know how to do it.
And in terms of student loans, I know I've been on the clearing lines and I get lots of calls about they haven't heard about their loan yet. Is that a common query?
Well, yeah, it generally takes around at least 6 weeks from when a student applies for their funding for it to be assessed by Student Finance England. If they have dependents, such as children or adult dependents, it can take a lot longer. So if more than that time has elapsed, more than 6 weeks, and they've not heard anything, then we'd first advise them to contact Student Finance England. If there's any kind of problems that they don't understand what they're telling them to do, or something that seems unresolvable for the student themselves, they can obviously come to us and we will help them to sort out any problems they're having with the funding as well.
And in terms of students, but I know from experience on the clearing lines, you quite often get calls from students who've done so much better in their A-levels than they thought they were going to do, and they want to come to university last minute.
Yeah.
They haven't done any of the applying through UCAS,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they're looking for that student loan. How does that work?
Well, first of all, they can apply for the funding before they've actually been offered a place. So as long as they know what course they want to study and at which university, they can go ahead and apply as soon as they've decided to go, before they've actually been offered a place. But as I've said, it does take around 6 weeks at least. So anyone who's applying now, they'd be lucky to get the funding in place immediately. So the message is just apply as soon as possible, basically, for the funding.
And again, is that through the same website?
Yeah, Student Finance England. So it's www.gov.uk/student finance. You can apply online.
Right.
Yeah.
And if they have a delay in the finance coming through, how do we help students manage for those first few weeks?
We have got a short-term emergency loan scheme, but it doesn't stretch to living costs. It would only really enable them to get enough money for travel costs to come to and from the university in the first few weeks. But in order to be able to apply for that, they have to have applied to Student Finance England and show us that in principle they're eligible. And kind of they're just waiting for the funding to come through. But it is a very short-term fund, and it's limited in the amount as well.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be a long-term answer.
Right. But we're there to help them as much as we can.
Oh yeah, definitely. We will help them to try and get their funding through as soon as we possibly can. We meet with a lot of students when they first enrolled and, speak with them on a one-to-one basis or contact Student Finance England with them to try and resolve any problems they're having and get the funding through as soon as we can, yeah.
So you must be very busy at the
We
open
are,
days.
yeah. Yeah.
If I can now talk to Emily about the halls of residence.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us a little bit about the halls that we have and the facilities that we have there?
Well, we own, as a university, 2 halls of residence. So we have Orlando Village Halls and we have the Hollins Halls of Residence. So altogether, there's approximately about 650 rooms available to students. Orlando Village is the larger of the 2 sites, which holds approximately 340 students, and Hollins is probably about close to 280 to 290 students. So both halls of residence are actually, with some universities, for example, you sometimes have to apply to a certain halls of residence dependent on your subject. We're obviously a town centre campus, and both halls of residence are extremely close to the university, so it doesn't matter what subject you study to what halls of residence you apply for. Both halls of residence are at the same cost. They are both self-catered with shared bathroom and shared kitchen facilities, but they are traditional halls of residence with a reasonable cost which you can budget with at £78.50 per week. And that is actually a price freeze from last year, so we haven't increased our costs at all, which is very, we have our returning students who are very happy about that. And we just apply now, basically.
So how does that compare with the rest of the sector? Is it very good value?
Yes, I would say we're very competitive with the rest of the sector, and we, for example, as well, we only ask for £200 deposit when you apply to the halls of residence. Amongst the sector, sometimes you may get asked for a guarantor of a month's rent in advance. We don't ask for any of that. It is a simple £200 deposit application form, and you wait until you get your student loans in to pay your rent, basically.
Right, so they get themselves settled in before we're looking for the rent on that first few weeks. Then.
Yes, and one of the questions actually linked back to what Karen was just saying about delaying the student funding. We have our halls of residence payments. We have 3 termly instalment payments, and they do coincide with when students actually have their student loan in their bank account. So there is a termly instalment in October, there's one in January, and there's one in April. Now, a lot of students now coming through clearing, applying for the halls of residence, for example, may also have only just started applying for their funding as well, or will be in the process of informing Student Finance that they're now going to a different university. Sometimes this can cause a small delay in actually paying that first instalment on time, but we work together as we work in student services. We all work very closely together. We can make arrangements if a student is to have a delay in the funding. If it is late, we can make arrangements, a 2-week extension, 3-week extension. It can be arranged.
Right,
so students saw nothing to worry about in terms of the first payment with that.
That's excellent. And in terms of anything else that they might need to pay when they start in halls, is there anything else we need to be concerned about?
There's nothing else. As I said, just the £200 deposit for the application. Make sure that your funding is ready, set in place, and just to keep informing us when that will actually come through for you to be able to pay your halls. And again, as I said, we can arrange that. everything else, it's just make we do have a things to bring list that we include in our contract packs to students. So it's just a case of being ready, seeing what you can bring with you. We normally advise just to bring the bare essentials when you do come to university, and just to see what everybody else has brought as well within your flat. So for example, if every single student within a flat brings a set of pans, that's quite a lot of pans in a kitchen, so it's very good, I think, just to work it out with the flatmates what it is they could share and not share. So it's always a good idea probably to do some of the buying whilst in Bolton, which has plenty of shops to go to do that.
So in terms of the community of living in halls, what's that like?
I think the community in halls it's very bright. Students enjoy mixing together. For example, we've started our Halls of Residence Facebook group again this year, and there's a lot of engagement on there already of students getting to know each other, and that just transfers into the halls themselves. So they do make friends within their halls, within their flats, with other students on their course. They find out that they're in the same halls, etc. They then link with the events that take place on the welcome week and the weekend when they move in. So there's a lot going on, and it just creates that community and an atmosphere, and then
So they can sort out that pots and pans issue then before they
Oh yeah, exactly, yeah.
And plan those first parties.
Yes.
Talking of parties, what's Bolton like as a place to be a student? Because I know you guys all pretty much live in Bolton, don't you, or around?
Yes, before I started working here, I'm actually from Burnley, but as a new person coming to Bolton 4 years ago, I was very impressed with Bolton. I think the town is up and coming constantly. There's just improvements constantly. It's got a fabulous shopping centre, which is also going through more improvements. We saw plenty of shops, plenty of bars, and a good nightlife in Bolton, with plenty of bars, pubs and restaurants, and students get involved in the nightlife there. If students are not so into the nightlife, there's other options, and there's plenty of lovely countryside surrounding Bolton. And there's also Bolton Wanderers Football Club for anyone who wants to watch a bit of football. So it's all here.
And we've got some pretty big cities around us as well, haven't we?
Yes. Yeah, we're very in close proximity to Manchester, which is a very easy ride to get to Manchester by train or bus. But we are very close to Manchester and other northwest cities. For even to the Lake District and in other cities like Liverpool, it's very easy. It's with such a good area location in the UK in the northwest. It's an excellent place for students to come to.
And if students go home for Christmas and things like that, I know it's a question that I've been asked before, can they leave the stuff behind or? Yeah, there's no need to take everything back home with them at all. It's just very convenient just to leave the belongings in the room, so they can leave them over the Christmas period, over the Easter period. The only time they need to take everything out is when they eventually leave us in the summer. If they want to continue their stay with us, we do offer that. So we offer summer accommodation. So again, they can continue in Bolton with us and still not move. Right, so they can come back for the second year, but can they stay over the summer as well if they want to?
Yes, they can. So they can come back as a returning student, and they can continue their stay over the summer, which is absolutely fine with us.
What's the competition like for halls in terms of, are you nearly full now, or do you have a few places left?
We've got a few places left at the moment, and we are allocated rooms at the same time. So I would just really advise any student who is looking at accommodation and wanting it with our halls of residence accommodation just to apply as soon as possible. Between the two halls of residence, I think Orlando Village is becoming full. So if it is Orlando Village they want, definitely get the application in. But yeah, that's our best advice.
What's the difference between the two halls?
Orlando Village is probably, it's about a 10-15 minutes walk away. The Hollins is probably about a 20-25 minutes walk away. Students equally do apply for both. The trend seems to be each year that first year students like to apply for Orlando over the Hollins, which we probably just think is because of the distance maybe, but the Hollins is equally just as good, and it's on a bus route to the university and still in close proximity to the town centre. So that would probably be the difference really. There's not much to them at all. So.
And how do they, if they want to apply and get in there now, how do they apply to get into the halls?
Yeah, we would advise applying online. So there's an online submission form, which would be the quickest way to make an application to us for the halls. And to pay, you'd need to pay £200 deposit, which can be paid over the telephone to our finance office. And we also ask for one passport photograph, which is for security purposes for ourselves, and that can be actually emailed to us.
So really straightforward.
Very straightforward and simple, and we're getting through them very quickly at the moment.
Brilliant. So now over to Molly.
Hello.
Now Molly looks after our sports and health and our well-being in terms of what goes on in Bolton 1. So can you tell us a little bit about what we have there, Molly?
Okay, so we've got the sports department. We're here to aim to enhance your student life really, so to complement your studies and give you, similarly with the bars and restaurants, we want sport to be a part of your university life as well. So to help us do that, we've got a brand new building, which is within it we have a multi-use sports hall where we house a full range of activities. So you've got your badminton, basketball, football, things like that. We also have seasonal activities which we take to local areas, as Emily was saying, with some beautiful countryside around here. And we've got good iconic facilities like the Chill Factory for snowboarding. We go mountain biking up in the local countryside as well at seasonal times. We've got your gymnastic activities such as trampolining. We've also got a range of exercise classes, boot camp, Zumba, that sort of things. So we believe that through sport can enhance your studies as well by giving you such things as teamwork, leadership. It can help you make friends, things like that. So we really want to include the students within, you know, university life. We want to be engaging you in the sports facilities as well that we have to offer. We've got new for this year, we've got a martial arts club as well, which we're going to be offering some self-defence. So that could link in well with halls of residence. So there's leaving home for the first time. So we want you to come and get a few self-defence lessons and things and learn to look after yourselves. Yeah. We've got golf hopefully coming onto the programme this year as well with a local golf club. Some archery possibly as well. So we're looking at alternative sports as well as your traditional sports. We've got the Students' Union handle some university clubs, so you can get involved in competitive sport if that's the avenue you want to go down. But we are very much open to all students. Also, sport is free to all students. Our activity programme is free, so we've got a full range of activities. The students don't have to pay anything for those. We just ask that you sign up to the sports centre so that we can register on our system. But the activities themselves are free for you to come along and join in. We've also got the 50-foot climbing wall, which is a big draw for the students. It's often busy in there. You can get free instructed lessons off our climbing instructors. You can come along with your friends into there as well if you're already competent climbers. If you've never climbed before, we cater for that as well. So we're trying to aim for every student to be coming in at least to have a try of our climbing facility, as it is quite unique for a university to kind of have its own climbing facility on site, which is a 50-foot indoor climbing wall for us. We've also got, in the commercial building next door, the university has the multi-use sports hall and the climbing wall. Commercially run next door, we have a swimming pool where we do have free time for students in there. And we also have a gym in that building as well.
So the full range then?
We have cater for all your needs, we hope. If there is anything that you don't see on the programme as well, we do encourage you to fill out our quite regular questionnaires and things to let us know that there's activities that you as students are wanting to do. We're also trying this year to really engage with those in halls of residence and set up kind of a inter-halls competition. So, you know, Orlando would go against Hollins, and we're trying to do some portable sport as well, where we will take sport down to halls of residence, and, you know, you'll be able to come along and get a badminton racket and just have a little game with you know, pop-up football nets, that sort of thing, so that you can have some sport down at where you're living as well.
I've seen some sport activity in the main area around the social learning zone.
Yeah, hopefully you'll be seeing a lot of myself and my team. We've got quite a good team this year, well, a very good team, and a lot of our staff in the sports centre, the reception and attendants, are university students here at the university. So they are very good to engage with other students as well. So they'll be going out around university telling you all about it, and it's also an employment opportunity. Whilst you are studying here, you are available to apply for those sort of jobs as well, which is paid employment for our own students as well within the University Sports Centre. So if you need anything else, we do have our Facebook page, which if you just Google Unisport, Bolton Unisport, it should come up on Facebook there if you want to ask any questions or anything later on. Unisport Bolton.
So plenty of ways.
Thank you. Yeah.
finally, we have Fiona here from Disability Services to tell us a little bit about what we provide for students in that area.
Hi, we have a really good reputation here for supporting our disabled students, and because of that we have nearly 14% of our overall student population does have a declared disability. Now, quite often, students, when they're starting to apply for university, are sometimes a bit reticent to say that they've got a disability, put that down, because they may think that it might go against them, but that is absolutely not the case. We would encourage everyone to disclose at the earliest opportunity here in applying to the university, even with it, if it's, you know, here at the when they're going through the clearing system, if it's at one of the open days, you know, come and speak to our staff. Our disability services staff are always at all the open days, because the sooner we can speak to you, the better, because we can start to put in support at the earliest opportunity. Now, we have quite a high number of students, as I said before. We're one of the highest number of students who are deaf and use British Sign Language here within the UK. We had 14 students last year, and quite recently one of our photography students came out with a first class honours degree, which was you know, great for our, you know, BSL students. We also have quite a high number of students with autism, and I think because we're a small university with that, you know, someone was saying before, with that real family sort of atmosphere, it's really great for students with any additional needs, because it may well be you're, you know, in, you know, one building or a couple of buildings for the whole of your academic life, and that is really good, and you may only deal with, you know, a small number of staff, so that is really, really helpful to a lot of our students with those complex needs. We're also launching this year a new Life Lounge service, which will contain our counselling service, our a CBT clinic with our postgraduate students, our student liaison officers looking at academic related issues, and we've got a group training room there, because we're looking and we're working with lots of external partners as well, and looking at throughout the university at that early intervention stage. So there's lots and lots of support here for students. It's just a case of, yeah, come and see our team.
And how do they get in touch with you, Fiona?
Probably emails the quickest, which is disabilityinfo at bolton.ac.uk, or just call in if you come into the open day. Just call in. Our team will be in Chancellor's Mall tomorrow.
Well, that's brilliant. Thank you very much for your time. Right, well, that's just about all we have time for today. Thank you very much for listening to us. We hope you found that information useful, and hope to see you at the University of Bolton soon.